3 o'clock. President of the room, Commissioner Nichols, myself, Commissioner Groot, Commissioner Minty, out of the office today. First thing, 2.1 is minutes from our September 16th meeting. How do those look to you, Commissioner? Good. Stand approved. And next, HR. Emergency hire for tax.
Yes.
What do you want?
So,
Yes.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
On behalf of Kayla Wessel, Senior Chief Tax Office Deputy, we are seeking approval for an emergency hire for up to 30 days to bring in a temporary office worker in order to assist with reception duties in the tax office during the property tax mailing season, which begins in mid-October. The tax office is currently short-staffed and will need additional help during this time. The person hired in the position will be paid at UH 17 Step 1, which is $19.58 per hour. No benefits will be awarded to this position. The fiscal impact will be approximately $4,000, and the department does not have the funds in their budget.
Okay. Well, let's get a motion going and then we'll talk about the budget. I make a motion to approve an emergency hire for the tax office for up to 30 days during the property tax mailing season. Second. So we have a motion and a second. So I know you need the help to get it out. I mean, and we got to get tax bills out.
Right.
Finance.
The only idea I did have is we do have money in travel and training, which is $39.69, so $3,969, which is close, $31 off.
But that means there's no travel, no training for your department.
Which we would miss the winter conference. And it's more important to have people answering the phones than going to that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that works.
I'm fine with that if you guys are good.
So is anything necessary? They can move materials and services for travel and training just over there without it coming to the board for anything, right?
I mean, we'll see what happens the rest of the year. And then if they need it, we can use it. And if they don't need it.
Okay. Any other questions for you?
No.
Thanks for bringing solutions to problems. I always like that when that
The only
occurs.
solution I had, so I'm glad it worked.
All right, I'll call the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Jeremy Morris, Public Works, approval of a surplus 105 truck.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We, in the last budget season, we purchased 3 F-250s, I believe. This is one of them that we would like to surplus. Approximate value is about $17,000. That exceeds the $10,000 limit in the our policies and procedures for surplus. So it has 189,000 miles on it. And typically in this case, we would offer in this hierarchy to other county departments,
Sure.
Other cities within Klamath County, and then to neighboring counties such as Lake County. Typically Jackson County and Deschutes County are far better off than we are, so they haven't ever taken our surplus. I did see the commissioners in Lake County this morning at the SCO Act, and they appreciated the last piece of equipment that we sold to them.
Of course.
So for the board's consideration,
last result
and then
would be
the auction. We'll probably want to do all of that fast, because the auction's coming up in October, and we wouldn't want this to sit around until April for the next auction. So,
no problem.
Does this take a board action, right?
Yes.
So I make a motion that the board approve the Public Works Director to dispose of the 2017 Ford 250 license E275564.
Second.
with liaison's signature also.
Yep.
Yeah, with approval of my signature.
Yep. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
The initial.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes.
Today's the 20th.
Done.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Next is Miss Stephanie Brown, CDD. OIT Fieldhouse fee waiver. It's okay, I'm just gonna jump in if the board would recall, this is something that we discussed at last Wednesday's work session. Was it last week?
It's different.
No,
Or is it different?
This is a,
Oh, well
this is
then,
not the grant. for
shoot.
the-
no, this is a big old project for the
let's
OIT.
hear about it.
It's the Kip Tomet Memorial Fieldhouse, and it would be a big old building that would allow the students to practice for their sports during the winter months.
Okay,
And then also they would use it as a community room, which people from the community could come and utilize as well.
okay,
So they are requesting 100% fee waiver, which equates, their structural has just now been submitted last week
Okay.
for review, valued at 2.4 million. So that structural permit with a plan review and fire life safety and all that runs about 26,000. They went for the highest fee waiver. That's up to the board if they wanted to go the full 100. In the past, we've given the community college 50% waiver on their big project. I'm in support for any of either the 50% or the 100%. I think it's a good project for the community. And it shows us support for, it's a community funded project through all donations. There's an extra page on there. That second page can get taken out. There's 3 letters of support that if you've written through.
How much time and effort are we going to, like, what do we realistically need to recoup?
We're going to have our plan review. We're going to have our inspectors going up to inspect. I don't know how many inspections or how long it'll last, but typically a few months.
so I am also in support. My rub right now is trying to be consistent with what we've done for not just KCC, but also K-12 and many others. I think K-12, we also did 50% on like KU and many of their big projects. We did 50% at KCC. I think staying consistent with what we've done for everybody else,
Okay.
for me, makes the most sense. And then it also then at 50% on such a large project would help with costs within the building department. So that's what I'm leaning towards.
Does it have Director Morris? Is planning involved in this? And requesting
It's a
waivers
city
as well?
project.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's gotcha. Okay. Well, I would support that as well.
I'll make a motion to waive 50% of the building fees for the stated application from Oregon Tech.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes. So
I have an extra page in there on that one. This is the page that you would want to sign. And then I'll change it to the 50%.
perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I just want a reminder that we wouldn't bring this forward if our budgets were not doing well. So
You do a great job, Stephanie. I appreciate it.
thank you.
Thanks.
All right, next on the agenda, NACO dues invoice. General fund, our departmentals where we pay all of these from typically, right, Vicki?
Typically, we did pay one last year out of LHS.
Okay.
What's this one?
NACO.
I
Yeah,
think that's the one.
that we paid out of LATCF.
So,
I actually think that might be a mistake, because I don't use, we can use LATCF to pay for anything that would be considered lobbying, and NACO does lobby with our
okay,
dues.
I'll double check.
Okay, so I'm just going to make a motion that we pay the National Association of County dues of $1,388 from general fund non-departmental.
Second.
With a motion, a second, further discussion?
None.
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. Last on the agenda is code enforcement cleanup. When I placed this on the agenda for us to discuss. So to give you, Commissioner, maybe some historical back, we've had cleanup funds that we've kind of seeded into the property sales division years back. And it's kind of stayed perpetual that we would clean up properties as we take them back through tax foreclosure. And then when we sell those properties, try to recoup as much as we possibly can. There have been, on rare occasion, properties where the cost to clean up the property just far exceed what you'd ever get back. And it's been kind of a debate whether or not you clean it up before you sell it or not, trying to be fiscally responsible, but you're also trying to be responsible to the community that when you do take a property back, you clean it up before you put it back on the tax rolls, and try to be responsible in that way and kind of lead by example. So that's always been kind of the rub in the debate. Now we find ourselves in a different scenario in which we've taken back a few properties due to foreclosures on liens deriving from code enforcement fines, right? So it's a completely different way in which we're taking back properties. There's a little bit of money there, but really not a whole lot to fund cleaning up those properties. And some of them, as you know, you've probably seen some things that have come through, are pretty expensive to clean up. There's some pretty big ones. And we are kind of attacking those a little bit differently, trying to keep costs down, but they're still very expensive. I am of the opinion that we need to seed that department as well with cleanup funds that they can hopefully recoup when they sell those properties, at least in part. And then hopefully they can continue to do that as they work through that process on all of those properties. The problem being, if you're taking a property back through code, you know that you're going to have a big cleanup, and most likely a big cleanup that exceeds the value of the property in most cases. So it's not like you're going to be able to seed it and not have to come back and revisit that 2 to 3 years later. But hopefully, and I'm thinking it's probably going to cost about $100,000 to seed it. It's able to then take care of that department being able to do those cleanups, take those properties back, clean them up, and then list them and sell them for 2 to 3 years. The other alternative is to try to get rid of them in the mess that they're in, and then you hope you don't just end up with another code problem. And I don't think that that's the responsible thing to do. So that's why it's in front of us, for us to have a discussion about whether or not we should take a little bit of LATCF money. It's the only money that I would be aware of. And I think a minimum of $50,000 up to $100,000, and get it into the code enforcement department to do the property cleanups properly. So that's the entire story. Happy to answer questions and have a discussion.
Well, do we, on the other side, in the property, we don't have any money for cleanup for them right now either, right? We haven't sold any property.
Well, there's some, but it's not a whole lot. But yeah, it'll get replenished as we sell some stuff.
Is this something we put into code enforcement's budget, or do we just set up a property cleanup fund? Maybe
They have a line item for this. They just don't have near enough. Because we have given them money for this before, so some cleanup
what do
funds.
they have?
It's not much. 20, 30,000 bucks, I think, maybe in there.
I don't know.
It's not
The
much.
property sales, the county property trust and agency account that used to have money does not.
Is it empty right now? Because
It's not empty, but we have enough for part of property sales for this fiscal year.
Okay.
It's
So we
covering
don't-
their operations.
That's about it.
So
And
we're
then
gonna
it's
have
gone.
to sell property that I get track.
And that's more problems out of Salem that have caused that. So,
I understand. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we should leave those properties looking the way they are. I agree with you.
so
How many are there?
3 right now, but 2 of them are pretty big.
Yeah, one of them is big and it's.
Okay.
Between 2 properties, there's probably 100 vehicles. 50 apiece.
Okay.
So
I think, I mean, the citizens have been complaining about these properties for years, all the way back when I was in law enforcement. We're not doing our job if we just leave it.
yeah, and I would just say for I hate spending money. The goal is to try to get as much of this money back when we sell these properties. So in order to do that, you do it right. You clean it up right so that you can maximize your return. You can't do it trying to use words that don't get me in trouble, but
Is there any money in the scrap
half-assed.
on 100 cars,
No, it costs
the
that.
metal?
It's basically a wash by the time you hire somebody to drag them all
They're
out of
gonna
there.
include that in their bid
I
anyways, what they would get.
So, and we're going to address it differently instead of going over large bids. We're moving all of the vehicles, working directly with wreckers, so that we can, again, lower those costs, reevaluate the properties, and then decide how to move forward after the vehicles. I mean, you walk the properties, it's actually, I would say, fairly difficult to give your best quote when you see how big of a mess they are with all those vehicles on them. So we're moving vehicles first, which is how we used to do it before, and was really productive. It worked really well. So I would make a motion that we seed code enforcement cleanup with $100,000 from LATCF funds.
Second,
Discussion.
yeah, so in order to replenish it, do we say that part of the sale goes back into that fund? Because that seems like an argument down the road.
So the sale of those properties, well, first thing has to happen. The back taxes have to get paid back first. So once the back taxes on those properties are paid, then anything after that, other liens, let's say,
The fines they didn't get.
yeah, the fines they didn't get, the liens, let's say South Suburban Sanitary District has liens, or an irrigation district has liens. Those would need to be paid. It's not like a tax foreclosure. So you clear all that kind of stuff. And then after those are taken care of, then you pay yourself back for any costs incurred, whether that is the costs incurred of actually doing the foreclosure process or by cleaning up the property. After that, if there's any remaining dollars, then there's a conversation about where those dollars should go. None of these properties are going to have money left over. So that's kind of the sequence on how things are priority of how things are paid.
I mean, we're gonna deplete that fairly quickly, so if that's a model we're gonna use, then is that, I guess we're gonna have that discussion in a year.
Yeah. The majority of, so the big ones that we see this year, I would say are, at least over the course of the last 9 years, are anomalies, right? We've had one other one that was humongous. That was a property that was next to Stearns Elementary School, that we kind of did the same thing with. Other than that, the other ones that we typically see are fairly small, and not nearly this expensive to address. We just happen to have 2 or 3 of them that are hitting us at the same time. That being said, we are getting more and more aggressive on major nuisance properties. And so this may become more regular depending on how that process unfolds.
Yeah, I'll vote for this.
Then we'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes. That's the end of the